sometimes OCD isn't about a fear, it's about a feeling. Stay tuned, we're going to talk all about it. Hi, my name is Natasha Daniels. I'm a therapist. I make videos for people with anxiety or OCD. And today I want to talk to you about just the idea of OCD, because a lot of times people are stuck on what's my fear? Or maybe their therapist or their parent or their partner is stuck on what's your fear? And there is none. We're going to talk about that. But before I get started, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified, because I do make new videos every Thursday. So sometimes OCD isn't about a core fear. It's about a core feeling. And this can trip people up because they may feel like they have OCD, or their therapist might think they have OCD, but they feel like they're missing a piece. They're not getting to the very bottom of why is that bothering you, or why do you have to do compulsions around that? And you might feel like, I don't know. You might even feel like you have to come up with something. And the truth is, there's a lot of OCD themes and intrusive feelings that have nothing to do with fear. The fear is that you might have this feeling and it may never go away. That's actually the core fear, is about the feeling. It can be confusing. Let me give you some examples. You might have a core fear that you might come up with something that's disgusting. It's a feeling, right? So you might say, oh my gosh, I don't want to see that or smell that or touch that or be around that because it's gross or it's disgusting. And that is the bottom line. There's nothing underneath that. It's just, I fear having that feeling of disgust. What if it doesn't go away? Or what if might be different for each one of you, but the feeling, the intrusive feeling, is disgust or grossness. Here's another one. I just don't feel right. Right? It just doesn't feel right. And that can show up in lots of different things. Maybe my handwriting doesn't feel right. Maybe when I read, it just didn't feel right. Maybe when I speak, those words just didn't feel right. Maybe when I wash my hands, it just doesn't feel right. I have to do it again. And there is no core fear per se. It's not like I'm worried about my handwriting or I'm worried about my words. It just didn't feel right. So I had to try it again and again until it felt just right. And that will look different for each one of you as far as what that is. But the feeling is, it just doesn't feel right. Here's another one. It just doesn't feel complete. And so it's kind of like just right. They kind of are very similar. It feels incomplete. And so I have to keep doing it until it feels complete. Or it just doesn't feel like symmetrical. It doesn't feel aligned. And so it feels uncomfortable because it's not even or balanced. Now, you're not going to have all of these things, but these are just examples of different feelings that can be the thing that's driving your OCD. Here's another one. It might feel like, I'm hyper-focused on my bladder. It feels like I have to pee. Or it feels like I have to blink, or it feels like I have to not blink, or I feel like my heartbeat, right? So hyper-focusing on bodily functions. The core feeling is I feel like I have to pee. There's no fear necessarily. Sometimes you're worried that you'll always have that feeling. You might add some fears on top of it, like what if I have an accident or something? But really what's driving the OCD is still that core feeling. The last one I want to give you as an example, and it's not the last because it could be any feeling, but just another example real quick, is the feeling of I have to move. And so Tourettic OCD kind of combines the urge of tics with OCD. And so I might feel like I need to do something with my body or move my body in a certain way, and it doesn't feel right if I don't do it. I have control, so it's not a true tic, but I feel like I need to do it, or I feel like I can't handle the discomfort. So those are just a few examples. And remember, regardless of whether it is a core fear or core feeling, and I would argue that there is a core fear attached to it, and that fear is that those feelings won't go away. So that is the core fear. So there is a core fear, kind of. The core fear is I can't handle this discomfort. Or if I don't do this behavior, avoid this behavior, I won't be able to handle that feeling, right? But it is still really ultimately about the feeling. But you're going to handle it the same way you handle any other OCD theme or any OCD spam or noise that's in your head. You're going to do exposures. You're going to do ERP, exposure response prevention, a type of therapy for OCD. You're going to learn how to sit in discomfort without giving OCD what it wants or what it wants you to avoid. So remember always that the approach, the foundation of OCD is always the same. But the problem is sometimes people don't get the help they need, or they feel like they're missing something so they can't work on it because everybody's like, but what's the core fear? And now you know, it doesn't have to be. Maybe the answer is, what's the core feeling? Well, I hope to see you next week. Don't forget to find the sparkle in everything you do, and I'll talk to you again. Take care.